Imagine discovering a life-altering secret about your new husband on your wedding night. A secret so profound, it changes everything you thought you knew about the person you married. This is Jenny's story, a journey of love, trust, and the courage to face hidden scars. Jenny had always seen herself as someone who could read people, especially Alex, the man she was about to marry. Alex, 30, a talented software engineer with a calm, introspective demeanor, had always been a puzzle she enjoyed solving. Jenny, a lively and compassionate elementary school teacher at 28, thought she had uncovered all the layers of his complex personality. They were partners in every sense, or so she believed. But as Jenny begins to tell her story, she leans into the camera, her voice tinged with a mix of emotion and suspense. Our wedding day was like a dream. Everything was perfect. But looking back now, I realize it was also the day I discovered a secret about Alex that changed our lives forever. This opening draws viewers in, planting a seed of curiosity. What could Alex have hidden so well? Jenny hints at a profound revelation tied to their wedding night, setting the stage for a narrative filled with mystery and emotional depth. The love she and Alex share feels real and relatable, making the audience root for them, even as the story takes a turn they aren't expecting. Their wedding day was, in Jenny's words, the most magical day of my life. The ceremony took place under a canopy of blossoming trees, surrounded by their closest friends and family. Jenny vividly describes the butterflies she felt walking down the aisle, her eyes locked on Alex, who looked every bit the dashing groom. He was smiling, but there was something in his eyes, Jenny recalls, her voice softening. I thought it was just nerves. After all, it's a big day for anyone. The joy of the ceremony was punctuated by heartfelt toasts, laughter, and an unexpected gesture from Alex's mother, Mrs. Green. During the reception, Mrs. Green handed Jenny a small velvet box. Inside was a delicate antique ring, its gold band worn smooth with time. This belonged to Alex's great-grandmother, Mrs. Green said, her voice heavy with emotion. It's a symbol of strength and resilience. Welcome to the family. The moment was touching, bringing Jenny to tears. She felt more connected to Alex than ever. But as the day turned into evening and they retreated to their bridal suite, the dreamlike quality of the wedding gave way to a different kind of reality, one that Jenny couldn't have anticipated. As the festivities wound down, Jenny and Alex finally escaped to their bridal suite, a luxurious room adorned with rose petals and soft candlelight. Jenny, still buzzing with happiness from the day's events, was ready to savor this private moment with her new husband. But the second they crossed the threshold, she sensed something was off. Alex wasn't himself, Jenny recounts, her brow furrowing as she remembers. He looked distant, almost like he wasn't really there. Jenny tried to lighten the mood, teasing him about how exhausted they both must have been. But Alex's responses were curt and distracted. When he excused himself to the bathroom without explanation, leaving her alone in the suite, a chill ran down her spine. Was he having second thoughts about their marriage? Was something wrong that he wasn't telling her? I sat there, staring at the door, my heart pounding, she says, her voice tinged with emotion. Something about the quietness of the room felt suffocating, like the air was too thick to breathe. Jenny wanted to give Alex the space he seemed to need, but the unease growing inside her was impossible to ignore. Little did she know, the answers she was searching for were closer than she realized, just on the other side of the door. As Jenny debated whether to knock on the bathroom door and ask Alex what was wrong, a soft knock echoed through the suite. Startled, she froze for a moment before rising to open it. Standing there was Mrs. Green, still in her formal attire from the wedding, but her expression was anything but celebratory. I need to talk to you, Mrs. Green said, stepping into the room without waiting for an invitation. Jenny's confusion deepened. Why was Alex's mother here on their wedding night? And why did she look so serious? Mrs. Green gestured for Jenny to sit, her hands trembling slightly as she closed the door behind her. "This isn't how I wanted today to go," Mrs. Green began, her voice heavy with a mix of regret and urgency. "But there's something you need to know about Alex, something he hasn't been able to tell you." Jenny's heart raced as Mrs. Green began to explain. She spoke of an incident from Alex's childhood that had left scars he had carried in silence for years. Jenny could barely process the words. The man she had just promised to spend her life with, the man she thought she knew better than anyone, was suddenly a stranger with a hidden past. As Mrs. Green spoke, Jenny felt a mix of fear and protectiveness. What had Alex endured? And why hadn't he trusted her enough to share it before now? The answers were coming, but they would change everything. Jenny's world seemed to shift as Mrs. Green revealed the story. She explained that when Alex was just 5 years old, a traumatic break-in at their family home had forever altered his childhood. It wasn't just the physical act of the intrusion, it was the psychological aftermath. Alex had been alone in his room when the intruders entered, hiding under his bed while chaos unfolded downstairs. "He didn't speak for weeks after that," Mrs. Green said, her voice heavy with emotion. "He was terrified of every little sound, every shadow. It took years of therapy just to get him to sleep through the night." Jenny listened in stunned silence, her hands trembling. She thought of all the moments when Alex had seemed distant or hesitant to open up about his childhood. It wasn't just a reluctance to share. It was the weight of a trauma he had tried to bury deep within himself. Mrs. Green explained that Alex still struggled with anxiety, particularly in situations that reminded him of the helplessness he felt as a child. She mentioned that even during happy moments, like the wedding, Alex's mind could sometimes retreat to that dark place. As Mrs. Green finished speaking, Jenny felt a swirl of emotions, shock, sadness, and an overwhelming urge to support Alex. She realized the wedding day, for all its joy, must have been a massive emotional strain for him. She knew now that the man she loved needed more than her companionship. He needed her understanding and patience. After Mrs. Green left, Jenny sat in the suite, waiting for Alex to emerge from the bathroom. When he finally did, his face was pale, his expression a mixture of guilt and vulnerability. "I know she told you," Alex said quietly, avoiding her eyes. "I should have told you myself, but I was scared." Jenny's heart ached at the sight of him, her confident, capable husband now looking like a little boy lost in a storm. She reached for his hand, guiding him to sit beside her. "You don't have to hide from me, Alex," she said softly. "Whatever it is, we'll face it together." And so, Alex began to tell her everything. His voice trembled as he recounted the night of the break-in, the sound of heavy footsteps in the hall, the way he had clutched his blanket in silence, praying not to be found. He spoke of the nightmares that had plagued him for years and the overwhelming anxiety he still felt in moments of vulnerability. Tears filled Jenny's eyes as she listened. She saw Alex in a new light, not as a man with a weakness, but as someone who had endured more than she could imagine and had still managed to build a life of love and strength. By the end of his confession, Alex looked at Jenny with a question in his eyes. Could she accept this part of him? Could she love him, knowing the scars he carried? Jenny leaned in, cupping his face in her hands. "I married all of you, Alex. Your past, your present, and your future. We'll figure this out together." It was a moment of raw vulnerability that deepened their bond. For the first time, Alex wasn't hiding, and Jenny wasn't left guessing. Together, they were stepping into a new chapter of honesty and understanding. After Alex's confession, the weight of the truth lingered in the room, creating a fragile silence. Jenny could see the exhaustion in his eyes. Years of carrying this burden alone had clearly taken a toll. She reached for his hand, squeezing it gently as if to say, "I'm here now, and you're not alone anymore." "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" she finally asked, her voice steady but filled with curiosity. Alex hesitated, his gaze dropping to the floor. "I didn't want you to see me as broken," he admitted. "You've always been so strong, Jenny. I didn't want you to think less of me." Jenny felt her heart ache at his words. She had always admired Alex's quiet resilience, never realizing how much pain he had been hiding behind that composed exterior. "You're not broken, Alex," she said firmly. "You survived something unimaginable, and that makes you stronger than anyone I know." As they talked, Alex shared more details about his coping mechanisms. He revealed how certain sounds, like the creak of a door or the shuffle of feet on hardwood floors, could instantly transport him back to that terrifying night. He admitted to feeling a pang of anxiety even during the wedding reception, overwhelmed by the noise and the crowd. Jenny listened intently, piecing together the little moments she had noticed but never fully understood. His hesitation at crowded events, his need for quiet after a stressful day, the occasional distant look in his eyes. She realized that these weren't quirks or habits, but signs of a deeper struggle. The conversation marked a turning point for both of them. Alex had opened the door to his most vulnerable self, and Jenny had stepped through without hesitation, proving that their love was resilient enough to weather even the darkest storms. The next morning, Jenny found herself alone with Mrs. Green over coffee in the hotel lounge. The older woman had a calm yet knowing presence, as if she had anticipated this moment long before it arrived. "I'm sorry I interrupted your wedding night," Mrs. Green began, her hands clasped around a warm mug. "But I knew Alex wouldn't open up unless he was pushed." Jenny smiled faintly. "It's okay. I think he needed that push." Mrs. Green nodded. "He did. And now, he'll need your patience. Alex has come a long way, but there are still days when the past creeps in. You'll see it in the way he retreats into himself or avoids certain situations. He doesn't mean to shut people out. It's just his way of coping." Jenny listened intently, absorbing every word. Mrs. Green explained how she had spent years helping Alex navigate his trauma, using small but meaningful methods to bring him comfort. She shared stories about how soft lighting and familiar scents helped Alex feel safe as a child, and how he would often hold on to a small trinket, a reminder that he wasn't alone. "You don't have to fix him, Jenny," Mrs. Green said gently. "He's not broken. But if you can be there for him, if you can remind him that he's loved and safe, it will mean the world to him." Jenny felt a surge of determination. She didn't just want to be Alex's wife, she wanted to be his partner in every sense, someone who could help him heal and thrive. Mrs. Green's advice gave her a roadmap, and for the first time, Jenny felt truly prepared for the challenges ahead. By the time their conversation ended, Jenny had a newfound appreciation for the depth of Alex's resilience and the strength it had taken for him to open up. She was ready to stand by his side, no matter what the future held. In the days following the wedding, Jenny and Alex returned home with a new understanding of each other. Their house, once just a shared space, now became a sanctuary for healing. They began taking small steps to rebuild trust and connection, starting with open conversations about Alex's triggers and how Jenny could support him. One evening, as they sat together on the couch, Jenny brought out a notebook. "Let's make a plan," she said, smiling softly. "I want to know what helps you feel safe and how I can be there for you when things get tough." Alex hesitated at first, but as Jenny encouraged him, he began to open up. They listed things like keeping the house calm and organized, creating a designated space where Alex could retreat when he felt overwhelmed, and setting aside time for quiet moments together. Jenny also suggested they explore therapy, not just for Alex but as a couple, so they could learn to navigate his trauma as a team. One of the most poignant moments came when Alex handed Jenny a small, worn toy soldier. "I used to hold this every night after the break-in," he explained. It was the only thing that made me feel like I wasn't alone. Jenny held the tiny figurine in her hand, marveling at the strength it symbolized. "You don't need this anymore," she said gently. "You have me now." That night they held each other close, silently promising to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. It was the beginning of a journey not just toward healing, but toward a deeper, more meaningful connection than either of them had ever known. As weeks turned into months, Jenny and Alex found themselves growing stronger as a couple. They embraced therapy, where Alex began to confront his trauma head-on. Jenny, meanwhile, learned how to be his anchor during moments of fear and uncertainty. One evening, Alex surprised Jenny with an unexpected gesture. He recreated a moment from their wedding, a small table set for two, fairy lights strung around their backyard, and the soft melody of their first dance song playing in the background. "I've been thinking a lot about that night," Alex said as they sat down together. "It wasn't perfect, but it brought us here, didn't it?" Jenny smiled, her heart swelling with love. "It did, and I wouldn't trade it for anything." They clinked their glasses, toasting not just to their love, but to the strength they had found in each other. The story ends on a hopeful note, with Jenny reflecting on the journey they've taken. "Alex's scars will always be a part of him," she says, "but they don't define him or us. Together, we've learned that love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up for each other every single day." Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this heartfelt story about Jenny and Alex's journey. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories like this. See you in the next video.